But honestly, when I got to London, I said, oh, is this it?
Well, most of them were there illegally then, I suppose.
Most of the time, because when you're over there, you just work.
So you had all your kids over there and basically raised them over there.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
Those days, most commonly, people used to bring weed into
Right.
London, you know what I mean? A lot of weed, because that's what was, they didn't used to be cocaine, and that only came later on. I went into computers, I did computers. But who was going to hire a black man like me to do computers? Computers were not exodus. Those days, they didn't need the slaves, the ships to come for us.
Right.
We were going ourselves.
Giving ourselves away.
You know what I mean? But it's all that if we were good in our country, we wouldn't have to do all these
that,
things.
yeah, that's right.
But these are
A
things.
lot of our parents migrated from various African countries, Ghana included, into the West, especially around the 80s. In this video, we're going to get to find out about some of the experiences that they had. Racism, finding work, shady business, all of that. In this video, we're going to get to speak to somebody who migrated into the UK in 1982. He's going to share all his experiences. This is going to be very, very interesting. Really fascinating story. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. I'm sure you guys have had similar experiences with your parents, aunties, uncles, and all that. So stay tuned, give me a thumbs up. Let's get right into it.
Hi guys, yeah, my name is Kojo. Everybody calls me Ojo. I love this place, but we've been through thoughts and experiences, and I know loads of us have been through that. These are the experiences I want to share. I've actually written a book, and this book actually symbolizes the things we went through. A lot of them are, true, but to be on the legal side, you've got to be cool. You know what I mean? I hope you enjoy this. You take it easy. Link me up. Ojo.
Hello, Joe.
Hi, Jazz, what's up?
Cool.
Nice
cool.
one.
I'm glad to have you here, and I can't wait for my subscribers to find out about your story. So when did you move to the UK?
Yeah, I moved to the UK in about the 80s. That was after secondary school. Stayed in Tema, really. That was where I hanged out. In the 80s, everybody was going. Those days, there was a lot. There was like exodus. Those days, they didn't need the slaves, the ships to come for us.
Right.
We were going ourselves.
Giving ourselves away.
You know what I mean? We were just going.
Yeah.
So there was loads of us just went about 80, 82 when my aim was to go and study medicine. That was what I went to do. But along this line, you get so many things get through and you get sidetracked and you get... But I suppose that's life.
That's it.
So it's been in the iniquity of things. I thought, no, you're going to tell them, because loads of us have different stories and different things which happened. You know what I mean? And I think these things are forgotten.
Yeah.
You've got to tell people there's got to be a story. There is, but every time you watch film about us, we have to watch Wakanda. It has to be some, we're primitive or Asian. No, what about life? What about what we're in now? A lot of us going through a lot. Or, we're going to tell the stories, and that's what I'm really doing. That's what I really do.
That's lovely. I mean, I think being vulnerable is not an easy thing for most people, most Africans especially. So it's great you're doing this. Why do you think that was? Why do you think a lot of people were going away from Ghana at that time?
I don't know. It was like the in thing. I mean, everybody felt, and even now, people in Ghana feel to be successful, you got to go abroad.
Overseas,
But these are the things which I feel the stories have to be told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What happens abroad? I don't think we tell enough of it. A guy said to me, black people don't read, or people from Africa don't read.
Right.
But how do you relate to Harry Potter?
Yeah, exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
We've got to do things we relate to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what made me, I think it portrays what we've been through and the things we've been through and the things you guys are going through and why it's good for us to come back and make our place good so that we can live
here.
Live here and stay, you know?
So when you got there, what was that like? What was your experience like? Prior to leaving, had you been before? Was it your first time? And once you got there, what was that like?
Fortunately for myself, I had been, I was a little bit okay. So we had been on holidays and stuff like that a couple of times. But honestly, when I got to London, I said, oh, is this it? All the houses were the same. And, everything was, to be honest, everything was compact. And, I went to a party and we were like 50 people in a small room, and people. I was thinking,
so
is this heaven? You know what I mean? It's like the Dick Whittington story. You get told you became gold. The streets are paved of London are paved with gold, but boy, that is the joke, man. You get there and then you see. You know what I mean? A lot of our people here don't know. A lot of people create the impression that it has to be. It's like you go, the minute you come back, you're okay. They don't know you stay abroad, you come and take a loan sometimes just to come. And I tell them over here, you know, you go out there, right? You've got to take a loan, you got to come back here, and you got to go quickly back to pay off the loan. So the clothes we wear when we come, we don't have it all the time. When we are coming, we make shopping and bring it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And we've got to, I don't know, but they will never understand that.
No,
I've been trying to until you experience it. You experience it. But we've got to, that's why I think we've got to relate and tell them more about our experiences. You know, I mean, things which happened, you know. And we have to have more brotherly love and support each other. You understand? 100%. We have to let the people understand that the concept is not being everybody being high. No, you got to be with each other. When you can all be rich at the same time and still be in the world. You know what I mean? Enjoy your world. And I think that's where they don't. Sometimes they think you have to bring your brother down, and no, it doesn't work that way.
So you've arrived in London. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. What do you do next? What was the next thing that happened to you?
I got to London, and it was cold as well. You know what I mean? The cold I can't take. But then, you know what I mean, it was just, we were there, in those days we were hip. We used to have the music called The Freak. So we were into the moves, you know what I mean? Those days, we used to go to parties. But those days, immigration and stuff like that, they used to just hound us. You could be there and then the immigration will come and people will be jumping. One time, there was a party and guys jumped from the 5th floor of the building, and one guy actually died.
Most of them were there illegally then, I suppose.
Most of the time, because you were given those days, you could go and get a visa at the point. You go, take your visa at Heathrow. And when you go in,
so
they
like
gave you
visa
6
on
months.
arrival.
Visa on arrival kind of thing.
Okay.
So you get in, they'll give you 6 months, they'll give you 8 months. So you stay there, you chill, you know what I mean? But after the 6 months, you gotta go renew it. And you know, I don't know whether it's an African thing or a black thing. We don't like do documentation and stuff. But we had to. But there were certain times, certain scenes because of the immigration. Like a friend of mine, right? This was Holland. He and the girlfriend went to Holland. Actually, they didn't know anybody. So he called a friend and blah, blah, blah. And the friend said, oh, come to my place, right? And he went with the girl and to the friend's house and says, oh, listen, we've just arrived. They had their cases and everything. We could hang around for a while. And you know what the guy said to him? He said to him, and he was a brother man. He thought he was a brother man. He said to him, the girl can stay, but you can't. You know? And there was nowhere to go, and he was so stuck. He was so desperate that he actually said, okay, I don't have a choice. And he went outside, and he went into the phone box because it was so cold. And the girl came down, and she wouldn't stay up there.
On her own.
She wouldn't. And she came down, and they were in the phone booth together, hacked together, just to get the warmth. You know, these are some of the struggles they went through. But fortunately, someone came to clean the phone booth, and it was a Ghanaian. And he said, what are you guys doing here? And they said, blah, blah, blah. He said, oh, come live with me.
Oh, that's lovely.
And he took them in, you know, and then they started life. They had to get the papers and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Fortunately, I was British, so, because I was born in London and many years ago, I came back to Ghana and stuff like that. So it was easier for me. But we got to find out certain things, you know, you could do. You had to make, you know, you had to live and to exist. There were certain things. Not all of us did a 9-to-5 job, you know what I mean? Some of us had to skip Hano and Sky.
There's more detail in the book, obviously, but what are some of the things that you did to, you know, survive when you were over there, when you first moved over there?
Okay. When we first moved over there, you realized that there were people who needed things like national insurance numbers and stuff like that. We found out that there were legal ways of getting them.
Right,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But just that people didn't take their time to listen to these or find out how legal these things were.
Right.
So they used to use birth certificates. But you could use a Ghanaian birth certificate and actually get a national insurance number.
Right.
But they didn't know that for legal.
Right, okay.
So what we used to do was we used to get them Ghanaian birth certificates,
right.
and then we get insurance numbers for them for a charge.
Right.
But at least we broke it. We got them a job.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah,
and we did things like that. You know, obviously.
Yeah. Why do you think you didn't go into like regular corporate work or, you know, regular 9 to 5? Why do you think you didn't do that?
Because not that I didn't try. I tried, but believe me, I don't know. I mean, we in the diaspora, we've lived there, you know what it is like.
Yeah.
It's like, it's chasing, you know. I went into computers, I did computers. But who was going to hire a black man like me to do computers? Computers were not famous, you know. Computers were not over everywhere like now. I got like the best thing in the computers and stuff like that.
Right.
I did all the, you know, hard, whatever, everything. But who's going to employ me? Well, because all the companies were white.
Okay.
You know, majority of the companies were built like they were owned by white. And they don't, I mean, to do computer, it means you're going to be doing their wages, you're going to be handling their banking. You're going to be dealing with, you know, a software programmer. There was nowhere they were going to give me the chance in those days.
Right, okay.
For you to go and, so I never got a job. I got cleaning job and stuff like that. But it was still a hustle. When you're over there, you just work. I mean, sometimes, you know, like for a while, people buy houses here and they live abroad, but they work just to keep the house empty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like myself, I take life very cool. Like, I can just go around, I buy my language, is kokwaya tutu. That is roasted plantain. Get myself some little something. And then it takes me 20 minutes to get to the beach.
Yeah.
And it's free, I can sit there, you know, but it's such a pity that we have to develop these things, you know what I mean? I can chill and it's like, I'm on the Bahamas. And that's the life, you know, we shouldn't spend our life just working and stressing all the time, you know what I mean? I know it's a problem when we come over here, it's to resonate, you know, it's like sometimes I do properties and sometimes you go to buy, I go to sell a house for a client and the client says to me, listen, I want this house sold immediately. Immediately. But you know what? Don't tell anybody around the area.
You want it sold immediately, but you don't want everybody to know about it. Like
but that is the people's
right.
side. Sometimes you got to ride along. You have to know how to ride along. But it makes it, you know, cool.
Sure. So when you speak about difficulty finding employment, then that ties into racism. So what other racist experiences did you experience when you were over there? Like, was it very common to experience racism around that time?
I mean, these days racism is, I'm not saying it's not there, but these days it's there with a smile, you know what I mean? It's a little bit, it's much better. At first, like where it used to be Wood Green and Tottenham, it used to be all white. I mean, there was only white people, but it's their land. Really, you know, if you say, sometimes we do say, but it's their land. We are the ones, we went there. They took some of us there and they took, we can't blame them what it is, but as I say, I don't think about the roots. We should be thinking about the roots, but now we should be concentrating about the roots, where we're going.
Oh, where we're going,
we're going.
Yeah.
We should make, because that's what we have to impact. We have to impact where we are going, what we are doing. We have to impact people like our I'm saying my daughters and my sons, so that we move in a direction where it's going to take us out of this, so that we can come to our homes and enjoy, you know what I mean? Because what's done is already done.
That's right,
You understand?
You get into doing, you know, the insurance stuff because you can't find work because it's too hard. Did you get in trouble?
Oh, I got in trouble most of the time.
You are still getting in trouble now?
Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe, tell me about it, man. I was in trouble all the time because, first of all, you were driving down the road and you had a good car and you were a black guy, you're gonna get stopped. So most of the time I got stopped. Sometimes I got taken to the police station, and you have to have an ID on you.
Right.
Because if you don't have an ID, they will put you behind bars. You'll be in the cell before they do their checks and everything. You like spend like the whole day.
Oh wow, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? But when you go there, you meet people with different problems. I got taken to cell somewhere, and I met this guy, which I put in the book somewhere, where he had been arrested for. His charge was conspiracy to import drugs and numerous juju or numerous witchcraft in brackets.
What does that even mean? Like
Exactly. What happened was that apparently he came from one of the African countries. I don't know where. I think I've slipped my mind. But before he came, he went to a priest or a fetish thing and he was going to bring drugs in. So the guy told him that, listen, those days most commonly people used to bring weed into London, you know what I mean? A lot of weed, because that's what they didn't used to be cocaine, and that only came later on when they started camouflaging, because the immigration expected weed to come from Africa.
Right.
So what they did was a triangular trade. They started shipping from Colombia to Africa, and then they took it back to Europe.
Right, okay.
He said the people who used to do it used to come with on the body. That's what we used to call the ladies used to hang themselves. They used to pack themselves, look like bunny. But there were no X-ray machines.
Right.
So those days you could get away with it or something like that. So this guy went to the medicine man, and he said to him, listen, I need to take some weed abroad, but I want you to do a spell for me so that I can crash through immigration. And he says to him, okay. So he charges him, takes his money, and he brings the weed to him, and he says, okay, I'll do my stuff. All you have to do is walk with the weed through immigration, and they won't see a thing. And he said, really? And he said, yeah. But
walk with it in a bag, like
in a full bag. No camouflage, nothing, babes.
Wow, okay.
And he says, when you get to the immigration, just put it down. If they want to check it, put it down and open it. They will see it as clothes. He thought, okay. So favorite day, my guy packs his briefcase full of this weed, walks up, down, got to Heathrow, nothing to declare. And then he got cold. And then he looked at a guy and he says, what's up? He says, I want to look through your stuff. He says, okay, cool. Puts his stuff on the metal table, flicks it open. It's weed!
Surprise, surprise.
And the immigration officer goes, what's this?
Yeah.
He brings the weed. And he says, what do you think it is? And the guy says, he didn't believe it. He says, look. He says, it's weed. And he says, the guy told him that if he finds that it's weed, then what he should do, if he raises one leg, he will disappear.
What is this guy?
As soon as the guy said, this is weed, he jumped aside and rose one leg. And he said, can you see me? And the guy said, of course I can see you. Eventually they bagged him up and brought him to the scrubs, you know what I mean? So a lot of Africans, there were a lot of dealings going on from the African community those days. People live on it, I don't know. Some people live on it, you know what I mean? And that's their business, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
There was a lot of drugs going through, and it's embedded in the community itself. For once, I think Africans trusted themselves. They dealt with Africans to Africans to Africans.
Okay, yeah.
You happen to know some of them, you know what I mean? I happen just to know some of them, obviously.
Sure. So you had all your kids over there and basically raised them over there.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
Oh, that was crazy, man. Because what happened is, it's good to have your kids there, but I'm not being like a mastery or something, but over here, you always get a helping hand. But over there, it's only you and the kids and the wife, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was, for me, that was hell. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, did I really enjoy it? I really suffered the moment, but I went through it, you know what I'm saying? But the good thing is I tried to, one thing over there is I try to, it's just like over here, you try to get them to get a good education. You know what I mean, as a background. But I mean, education is not only learning or, you could be educated in anything, you understand? Because education is not just knowing. It's like this book I wrote is not about being Shakespeare or having a Harry Potter kind of thing. It's about telling people about things. There's a price to everybody for anything they want all over the world. Yeah, I've got through the kids, but I did bring my kids over to stay a little bit. So they were also used to the switch, which made it a little bit easier for me. You know what I mean? The ones that I had that stay over there too long, when I say, hello, daughter, can I have a loan? He says, Daddy, when are you going to pay it back? Like, what? I haven't gone. When they go there, they say, oh, you like that too much, Daddy. Okay. So he has his advantages and disadvantages.
You don't have to pay it back.
You don't have to pay that back.
So you wouldn't have it any other way then, would you? Like raising them over there?
Yeah.
So I have read the book, and there was a portion where I read about marriage scams and things. What does that even mean? Like, what? You've done a bit of everything, haven't you? No wonder you're always in trouble.
No, social work, you know what I mean?
Social work?
Helping people with social work, you know what I'm saying? When we went there, you know what I mean, there was, like, you needed papers.
Yeah.
Okay? And for me, really, I knew a lot of people, especially a lot of people who lived or were born in London. What we used to do was that if you had a suitable suitor, we knew people who would want to get married. And well, two people looking for a thing. One wants to get married, one wants money. Yeah. And they are in love.
It's
so
exchange,
you just put them together. And that was for a price.
Yeah, right.
But that was something that we used to do.
Yeah. What were people paying at that time?
They were paying 1,000. Those days for marriage, it used to be 1,200, 1,500.
Oh,
and that was a lot of money in those days.
Time, yeah.
And then eventually it came to $4,000 and then $5,000.
Right.
And then there was a scheme where they could just take a thing off the passport and you go to Holland and bring them over.
Oh, from Holland.
From Holland.
Oh.
It's amazing. A lot of people, and I don't know whether it's unfortunate or fortunate, but a lot of people have lived their lives through this and created families and lived But especially for the marriage was crazy. I mean, one time we went to do, I went to assist some people to do a marriage, okay? Well, they were getting married legally.
Yeah.
And while we were there, the cops came in, wherever they came from, I don't know where they came from.
Right.
And all the guys were, oh no! And they were coming in and the attendant, the marriage counselor, today is a wonderful day. They always say the same thing all the time. So you've
been through too many.
You've been through too many, don't worry. Today is your loveliest, wonderful day. They say that 100 times a day, so they're cool. And the police came and the police went to see that everybody in the room had held their breath because we thought, oh no, you know what I mean? And he said, no. She checked the thing and she said, oh no, he's next door. Oh, this guy. And then you could feel a sign of relief when she left. Everybody, But the guy next door wasn't so lucky, man. He was wrestled to the floor, hooked up, and chucked straight into the van, and that's it. Dear. I'm sure his next flight was in Ghana. Yeah. But it's surprising, certain guys got, like a friend of mine, he had an argument with another friend, and the guy called the immigration. Right. And got him arrested, and he got deported. Oh. And when he came to Ghana, he was so successful. He was extra successful. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about mega.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's amazing. You know what I mean? The courses it was meant to be for him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so a lot of us have had to struggle through a lot of my compatriots and people had to do marriages which are arranged.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that was the only way they could live or live in abroad or certain things. People tried it legally, but they don't really like the lady, the other partner, but they, you know what I mean? So certain people too went through the stress of living with maybe somebody horrible. Some treated them like slaves, you know what I mean? Just for them to get the paper. You know what I mean? But it's all that if we were good in our country, we wouldn't have to do all these things.
Yeah, that's right.
But these are things we go through. Apart from that, still we go through it. You know what I mean? And it's not that we should hide the facts. We should let people know. We go through all these things.
So you're back here now. Has that always been the plan to be back here at a point in time? Or you just decided that now is the time to be back here?
No, I've always been the plan to come live here, man.
Okay.
To come live here. Air is fresh air. Everything is organic.
Yeah.
And the people are lovely. What
Yeah,
else do you want?
I know.
You know what I mean?
You don't sound like you miss London very much. As somebody that
no,
lived there
at
for
all,
so long.
man. Not at all. I saw the temperature today. I was like, oh, thank God I'm here.
Not going back anytime soon.
No, not going back soon. And believe me, when I was in London, I wasn't, you know, I'm not saying this thing, but I was okay in London, you know what I mean? When I was 21, I owned 3 houses and I rode all the best cars, you know what I mean? And but I didn't enjoy the quality of life. I couldn't have the quality of life. I'm sorry. Maybe, but that's my opinion. Someone might have a better opinion. But believe me, I tell you, down here it's buzzing. Oh, Joe, come check it out. Oh, Joe, you like it. Hey, baby.
Thank you, Ojo, for sharing bits of your story.
That's okay.
As you guys saw, he has so many more stories to share. It's all in the book. A very interesting read. Very easy read as well. You could probably finish it in a day or two, to be honest, if you just take time and sit down and relax like he suggested. The link to purchase the book will be in the description box below. It's only $4.99. Go check it out, support Ojo, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I have had a really good time. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to follow your bliss. So now life is short. Follow your bliss. Na nipa day. Follow your bliss. Na de mesibiya and follow your bliss. Na de ne mada. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.